Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? This your boy JTL, aka Out for the No 18, aka Big Out, back with another one. So, I check out videos time from time. Uh, like this right here, this channel, this might be risky. Shout out to DJ Hamp and the rest of the panel. Having some good conversations and making good content. So much so you got the Angry Man that pops up from time to time, Tommy Sotomayor that pops up from time to time, and people from the Lapeef channel. So they doing their thing, man. So shout out to them. So you seen what the question was: did men or women kill chivalry? That's what they talking about. And you gotta see how DJ Hamp and Angry Man had to battle most of the females on the panel talking about this. So let's get into it. But before I do that, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Let's get it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we're talking about chivalry. The men that were in that gym, if you saw that video without this climate, you would be like, those men are not chivalrous, right? But the question scrolling is who killed it at that point? Who created this climate? Are we going to say it was the men that created the climate or the women that created this climate where men can't help like they used to? Or be chivalrous?
Can we all fail collectively?
I still don't think it's the woman's fault, because how can it be a woman's fault if we don't even really know what chivalry is, according to y'all? So it's on the men to teach the men before them, after them, around them, and yeah, it's on the man. I don't think it's. I mean, yeah, we play a part, but I don't think women killed it entirely.
Okay, so if it's dangerous for a man to act chivalrously because of potentially what the women's reaction is, that's on him still. Okay.
He fails to act chivalry.
He chooses not to because of the potential repercussions. That's on him.
Yeah, that's on him. That's his choice. He's choosing not to.
All right, so real quick, she said something about women not knowing what chivalry is. I mean, they technically do because they still ask for it, but she's saying that's on the man. That makes no sense whatsoever, because you have to think, if the person we're being chivalrous to doesn't want us to be chivalrous, that's not on us. That's on the person that's making the choice to not want that. That's just like, say if, God forbid, somebody's house get broken into, whatever, and you decide, or that person decides not to call the police. That's not on the police. Especially if the police is not riding by and seeing the situation, and you don't call the police, or that person doesn't call the police. That's not on the police to say they're not protecting and providing. Or let's say the police is riding by and somebody's arguing with somebody, and that person is bigger than the other person, and they about to, they know they about to get hands put on them, and they know they can't win if they get into a physical altercation. And then the police pulls up and said, "Excuse me, ma'am or person, sir, are you okay? Do you need help or assistance?" "No, I got this. Don't even worry about it." Can't put that on the police now. So to say you can put that on a man is really ridiculous. But we know some females still think you can say whatever and it makes sense. Let's keep going.
You know what to do, but you're choosing not to do it because of said reason.
So him being okay, so men killed it because they needed to, because of the actions of women.
No, men killed it so they can blame women, because it's not about a woman not operating in her femininity or nothing like. You're gonna be chivalrous if it's in you. Period. You're gonna teach your son. You're gonna teach your nephews, your cousins, what your father and your grandfathers taught you.
Again, how can you be chivalrous to somebody who does not want it? And that is proper blame. But to say men killed it so they just can blame women does not make any sense.
Wait a minute, men killed it so they could blame women for it?
Y'all are blaming women saying we killed it, but I think men killed it.
But you're the recipients of it. You're the recipients of it. And part of the reason historically that men stop engaging in it is because feminism determined that you did not want to receive it. So here's the thing.
So you can stop being
Let's not miss that part, because she about to say something crazy. He said that movement back in the days determined that women did not want it, and then they was out there preaching to the mountaintops that they didn't want it, which was a lie. Because, and I got to do a reaction to that. I seen an old video, I think it took place in the late 50s, 60s. Majority of the women actually that they interviewed on the street did not agree with feminism because it didn't make sense to them. But I guess they just found ways to get people to get on board nowadays, like calling it women's empowerment. So if y'all are the recipients of it, once again, you don't want it, or you allow other women to say you don't want it, and instead of saying no, you do not speak for every woman. Let women speak for themselves individually. If it's going to be overall, you need to respect the fact that the majority of women, not just the West but the world, actually do want chivalry. They do want protection, and they do want men to act like gentlemen, because women complaining nowadays that they don't. But they're not saying what it is. They're just saying, I don't know why, like Jada Weave or whatever her name is, little baby mama. She was saying men ain't chivalrous like they used to be back in the days, even though she early 20s, so I don't know what she talking about. But from her understanding, men are not the same like they used to be. But nobody wants to take accountability where it came from. It did not come from us. We just give responses saying, what's the point of us doing it anymore if y'all don't want it? It's plain and simple.
If you have the whole society or the majority of society get on the feminist tip, and the women say, well, I don't need you to do this, I don't need you to do that, wouldn't that also fall under chivalry if a man is respecting your wishes and not doing those things?
No, not necessarily. I don't need you for shit, but would I like you to? I don't need you to replace my tire on the side of the road if it.
This young lady, Yana, she shouldn't have said nothing. Make sense. I don't need you, but I would like you to. But if you're going out of your way to keep saying, I don't need you, why would I? And then another thing Angry Man brought up that I thought about some time ago. When women said they didn't want it and men were trying to be respectful of it, they saying it wasn't chivalrous. No, that actually was. It is dumb because we know better than that. At least guys like us know better than that. We know it's cap. But when guys was just like, no, you respect women, you know, they don't want this, you know, you be respectful. She can do anything. I'm sure plenty of y'all done heard of that, where men do that all the time. They say that all the time. Like, no, you know, you got to respect a woman, you know. Women out there working hard, they getting it on their own, they getting their own bag, they don't need no man. Men are doing that to be chivalrous, the crazy as it sounds. And our group in this country is the only one that had the nerve to be INDEPE, that bullshit, or she got her own, all that bullshit. And now we're the ones getting ridiculed the most, saying we don't do shit for them. That's crazy.
Blowout. But I would like you to.
Why do you do that?
Crazy.
So I want to say this. I think it's
Wait. Hold on, real quick. Lauren, what did you? Who does what? Who?
Man, it's like every time it's like it's still based on women's responses. Like,
right, because we didn't accept it. It's our fault.
So you just gonna stop. Like it goes back into so many other topics of when men doing something and then they don't get the response they want, so they just stop. But then they get mad at how the reaction of the world from it. It's like, okay, well, I just don't want to do it anymore. Okay, but it's still needed.
All right, let's ask this question.
See, that doesn't make any sense. I think they're gonna bring up the Me Too thing. They brought it up early. I just wanted to get to the actual part when they focused on this topic. But if you got women saying they don't want it, they don't need it, then you got the Me Too movement that some females actually misused and made it look bad. Then you got the feminist mindset. Then you got the women's empowerment. Then you got watching out for guys who are creep, watching out for guys that move in a certain way that is toxic masculine. So how is it that a guy, and like I said, I know better, but how is it that a guy is still going to be chivalrous and gentlemanlike if those things can turn into a bad thing, especially if you look at the gym videos now that a lot of females are making, then going to the gym wearing revealing things and then putting men on blast for looking like if a woman takes off her shirt and he look like, oh, whoa, and it just catches him off guard. He's not looking to look. And I've seen some videos where guys don't even look at a woman, and then they still get put on blast and be like, yeah, see, he's trying to pretend like he ain't just look at me before I turn this video on. To say men should still do it makes no sense. How are you gonna tell me that I should force you to receive something from me? I mean, especially what if you got a man or a husband or something? You know what I'm saying? You not trying to put yourself out there like that you flirtatious with guys. So that's what a lot of guys get confused. So to say that you should still do that, a lot of times I realize a lot of females be saying that because they're hoping that the guys that they actually like will still do it. Because you can kind of tell, not like you used to back in the days, but you can kind of tell when a woman say, you know, she still wants you to approach her, so she give you some vibes, some hints and stuff like that if she likes you. But she don't want every dude coming at her like that. Let's be for real. So that's why guys don't do it. To Lauren's point.
And then Love could jump in. Nay.
Yes.
Are you aware of the climate, why men don't approach women, etc.? Like, do you know about this stuff that's happening in the earth or no?
I think yes.
Yes, because I'm going to ask you a question, but it's very important that you understand the climate in which we are in, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And when men are saying they don't approach women because of these reasons, etc., right? This is the sentiment. You have a son. So what are your recommendations to your son? Should he have went and helped that woman? Based on the climate.
Obviously, I would want him to, right? Like, just naturally, I would want him to. But I can understand how a lot of women, to be honest, I kind of get what you guys are saying. I think that because women, we have so much trauma, we automatically assume that when a man is being chivalrous, we take it as a problem and we kind of reject it. I can admit to that.
But see, this is another scapegoat that a lot of females got to stop using. Stop lying. The whole trauma thing, that's not the climate we're in. That is trauma. The climate we're in, that we don't need you. We don't need no man. That's the climate that we're in. It's not a trauma response. It's a climate of I'm Miss Independent. I don't need you. Like, we really gotta stop lying. Like, seriously, because we see a lot of females out here that want to be city girls, like Megan Thee Stallion, Lotto, and Cardi B, and Nicki Minaj, and all these people. Come on, Sexy Red, Glorilla. You got chicks out there carrying the blicky more than dudes nowadays. Come on now, stop it. Stop it.
I can see where if my son was trying to help somebody, a woman may reject it, and she's looking at it like, no, I got it. No, thank you. She's looking at it in that way. And she's
I have a question.
Yeah.
Well, let's do. I know Love has something real. Well, you got a question for Nay?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Where did you said the women have a lot of trauma, right?
Mm-hmm. I think we all do, but yes, women do.
Where did the women's trauma come from specifically?
It's generational, like things from our mothers, our fathers, grandparents. I think it stems from just generational traumas in our families.
Okay, so
see, that has nothing to do with a woman. Like, I'm just gonna do for herself. What it comes from is most likely the empowerment movement and the I don't need you movement, where even guys are stepping out and be like, yeah, I'm gonna teach my daughter not to need no man, but you ain't gonna be here forever. So if she want to get a husband or something, you teaching her that, then she's in a marriage with a dude who ain't helping because she got it. She don't need me. And then they'll look at it like he wrong for that, but it's like he's trying to be chivalrous in a Twilight Zone type way, I guess you could say. But it's because they 9 times out of 10 been taught not to need a man as well, not to trust a man, especially in our community. Let's keep it real.
So when you get trauma from other people, does that affect the way you move and operate?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so then how come we don't understand that on the guy side?
Oh no, I definitely understand it on the guy's side. I do. I think that's another reason why.
The only reason why I'm saying this is because a second ago, what was said, if I remember correctly, is just because women's response to men was a certain way doesn't mean that the men should stop being chivalrous. That's what was said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the premise is that regardless of whether the women appreciate it or not appreciate it, it shouldn't matter. Men should still be chivalrous because of the standard, right?
Yeah. I think yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So why is it we don't look at that the same way on the flip side? Why isn't there a standard that women have to uphold no matter what the men do?
I think that it's because of all the trauma that we have experienced, we just reject it. We shy away from it. We shouldn't, but we do.
See, AM just asked a great question, because nowadays females can pick and choose, cherry pick what they want from men and don't want from men, right? Even when we talk about equality. So it's the fact that I think Coach Tay said what he's talking about. She said that when I started out the video, regardless of what, as well as Lauren Mack and Yana agreed. So regardless of what response women give, whether they like something or don't want something or not, men should still be shivers. That should still be the standard. AM is asking the question, okay, then that should be the same thing for females. And then Nay is like, yeah, but we shy away from it, blase squaze it. Okay, then it should be understood for men. If y'all not still doing the same things, then why should we still do the same thing? I'm not going to put my life on the line, put my finances on the line to be with you, marry you, and then divorce rate shows that women are 20 to 30% likely to stay in the marriage, but 70 to 80% likely to leave the marriage. Whereas the man is most likely 70 to 80% to stay in the marriage. So why should a man take those numbers? That doesn't make any sense. So I'm not saying that, women are wrong for not wanting to, acquiesce to possibly going through the same things that they mothers or whoever went through, what they went through. But what I'm saying is you can't expect men to do it either. So I agree with AM. That's a good question.
We do. Am I not understanding like what you're asking? I don't know.
Well, no,
I
really.
get what you're saying, but you're kind of, because Lauren said that, every time men decide to stop doing something, it's because the women gave a certain response, and it's like men are just looking for an excuse to blame women for XYZ. But by that logic, it shouldn't matter if you're in a relationship with a dude and he cheats on you. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter what he does.
So we're supposed to accept that?
The same way men are supposed to accept, the same way that men are supposed to accept the fact that you don't appreciate the chivalry and continue doing it. So basically, if you're with a dude that cheats on you, it shouldn't matter that he cheated on you, because it's your boyfriend. You should just accept the fact that he's a piece of shit and keep being with him.
We end up doing we do that. We end up doing that. We shouldn't, but we do it. You're right.
That's that, Rick. You all are saying you're not doing things anymore because of the so-called Me Too movement, and which doesn't directly you. What doesn't directly affect you.
No, that's not what I. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I get what they're saying about the Me Too thing.
Real quick, see, Sis said something that doesn't make any sense. She said that doesn't directly affect you. Really? I'm sorry to bust y'all bubbles. Maybe y'all need to actually go do some more research. Like, I've had conversations with females that try to say the numbers don't matter. Yeah, they don't matter to you because it don't apply to you. And this bad things, yeah, they apply to men. So yeah, you wouldn't care. But there are plenty of females, even them, that look like them, that lie on dudes, that have lied about, that have committed paternity fraud, lied about that being that man's baby. There are women that lied about a dude doing something to them, and other dudes or the police come in to, tune that dude up or throw him in jail. It does affect us. It wasn't called Me Too movement until now. So it does affect us.
But what I was talking about was feminism, when women ask dudes to stop opening doors for them and stop doing certain things for them. And the men respected that and said, okay, you know what? I don't want to. There are dudes out here right now that will not open a door for a woman because they don't want the woman to talk shit to them. Literally.
But that sounds crazy.
That sounds like a man that's not comfortable with himself. That's not my problem.
Poyana. Poyana. So she said a man's insecure with himself because he doesn't want to offend a woman or have her go off on him because he did something that she may not want him to do. That's called actually being cautious. That's all that is. That's called being cautious. That's not insecurity. Because you don't want that. Like, I want y'all to think about it like this. How many of y'all know at least one person in your life or seen this at least once or so in your life where somebody might be explaining something to you and you might try to give them advice and then they get mad and be like, I'm just trying to vent or something like that. It ain't about understanding. Well, it ain't about giving advice. I just want you to be understanding. So we see a lot of people in the world that don't want to give people real concrete advice. Just like Kevin Samuels got arrested. So they went in on him, but it's like these females was calling his show for advice. And then, so when people seen that, guys seen that, and then it was like he actually gave good concrete advice, especially when it comes to doing therapy. And women went in, especially when he died. So that really made a lot of us look at the women in our community in this country very, very vastly, just totally drastically different. Right? If you want to ask a woman about, let's say, Kevin Samuels, and then she goes off or whatever, right? Like you just gonna think, damn, why should I even try? That's all that is.
If you don't want to open the door for me because I might say I got it.
Here's the let's let love get in, but just be clear, right? Angry Man, Yana, have you heard of Angry Man before?
Yes.
Okay, so he's not speaking. I would say he's not speaking as anecdotally as we're assuming, right? So men have these concerns, right? And then when you hear the concern, you go to insulting the men, talking about they're insecure, etc. Right? Think about that response for a second. If men are giving a concern, and we just say that's because he's insecure.
That's like me saying, "Okay, never mind," because I'm gonna go left. All right.
Well, he's saying because that's what's being said by the men. And why is it that they get an insult? Because they have a concern. Even a mom of sons said she wouldn't recommend helping these women to her sons. So, and then when Angry Man couples that with the men's concerns in which he's heard, there's no way we should start calling those men insecure. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
What?
I was just talking about that specific scenario where he was talking about a man would feel away about opening the door. Sounds like lack of security with yourself.
No, here's what the problem is. If I can just express it.
Sad.
The problem is there's the proposed idea that men made the world a certain way and it's all messed up. So we live in this age now where men, the decent ones, are trying to do things so that the women are comfortable. But the problem is there are conflicting viewpoints. There are some women that want the door open for them, and there are some women that don't want the door open for them. Some women look at it as chivalry and, oh my God, he's a good man because he opened the door. Other women are looking at it like, oh, you think I'm a poor, helpless woman and I need you to do something for me, and they get offended by it. So what's happening is when the men are out here in the world, when you're walking up to a door, you don't know this woman from Adam, and you're gambling whether or not this woman is going to be the type of woman that's going to be cool with you opening the door, or if you're going to get cursed out. I don't think that has anything to do with him being insecure as much as it has to do with him wanting to live in the world and not have no issues with somebody.
You don't know if at that point she's operating out of her own traumas and like, yeah, hell no, she's backing up off you. So
Feminism.
You just like, I'd rather just be like, no, I'm good.
Feminism.
You're saying that was asked for during feminism.
Yeah, feminism.
I don't know.
Yeah, like that's like we all of us, any of us that's in this age bracket, we grew up in this age of, you know, women don't want to feel like they're the damsel in distress or they're helpless and they need a man to rescue them. So men have to be.
Yeah, and they keep trying to say trauma. That's not trauma. You're talking about the feminist movement or womenist or whatever you want to call it. And then men having to worry about Me Too situation. That's what that is, not trauma.
Careful about how they go about saying things, even here on these panels. You saw it earlier when Love was giving Hamp a little crap about his wife being an investment or something.
So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video right there. Appreciate y'all staying for as long as y'all did to check it out. So the sad thing is, like I said, you have females like the Yana chick and Tay and Nay and Ro and Lauren and all them saying just stupid banana shit. If these average women still want men to be decent, chivalrous, and general, and you know, good men, you have to understand you have to give something to receive something. We had for years to separate us, and it worked, and it's still working, even though it's on autopilot. And to not be understanding of them, but wanting us to be understanding of you, we have been overcorrected to the point where we're concerned that if we do something nice for a woman, that it'll backfire. Like y'all really have to look within yourselves. And shout out to the women, especially sisters that's like, nah, I ain't on it, and that are speaking up more. Like, no, I want a traditional man because I'm a traditional woman. So shout out to the 1 out of 4 of y'all, I guess, sadly to say. And I mean, like I said, on average, if y'all want that stuff to be back, it's on y'all to work at it. Because dudes like me and Angry Man and Hemp, like, we stand on business. Like, whether you like it or not, we're gonna move how we move. But the average dude is a simp, average dude is beta, average dude is blue pill. So really, for the average dude that's not picky like us or married like Hemp and Angry Man is, yo, I feel sorry for them dudes. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them so simp, they just gonna go for whatever. For guys like us, we know to be picky. We know to have to vet. We know we got to do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I got a channel the way I got a channel, talk about what I talk about for those issues right there. You feel me? So, you know, shout out to people that's trying. Shout out to the people that's, you know, being careful, you know what I'm saying? Especially the man like MHD said, protect yourself at all times. So this your boy JTL, a.k.a. Alpha 18, a.k.a. Big Eye. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, share, tell a friend, and tell a friend. We out. Chill.